Okay, welcome. So this is going to be a pick a pile reading. You may pause this if you would like, but whichever one you feel drawn to, that reading is most likely for you. There could be something in both of them. We're going to start with whichever one is on your left, maybe, um, as pile one, and see what it is that we can speak for this collective through the cards. Whee! That felt very direct, and the things right on top. I think that there's something a little bit maybe direct, obvious, maybe more obvious that you're wondering about that like has a more obvious answer than you may have seen in the past. And also it's definitely grounded in like the physical world in like a 3D sense and an earthly sense. Balance and material offers is coming out here, and it does seem like there is somewhat of an emphasis on sharing with others, and that almost could be in the physical, like sharing stuff and being clear about boundaries and that you're sharing space with others, etc. But this feels like really communicative, as much as the Two of Pentacles is about finding balance, particularly between your spiritual self, your like, ethereal, non-tangible kind of world, and then also in your tangible world. So the energy that you give to your relationships as much as the energy that you give to your career or making money, etc. And finding that balance is resulting in offers, in new beginnings, particularly ones that lead to income or creations that are something that will be in the tangible world. So like a book being published, something that like has come from your own creation but then comes to fruition. It definitely feels more like you're receiving something though, like something from external from yourself. Could be an idea and everything, but this is about pentacles, and this point here is really standing out to me. That's like the universe is going to place something in your hands. And your hands not being full of stuff because you have worked on balance is what's like important here. And we have the Page of Cups at the bottom of this, which is a bit of a youthful energy when it comes to our emotional selves. Yeah, there could be just a bit of a like, you're keeping yourself a little bit shielded still. When you've done enough work to be safe, to not like have unnecessary shields up. And it comes back to that sharing thing again, where it's like there's something about sharing space with others. Maybe it's sharing, like working on a team specifically in work, things like that, that if you allow it to allow more maturity within yourself into the situation and know that there is enough for everybody, and like we'll all get accreditation, there's room for all of us at the top. That kind of mentality brings in the best offers at the end of the day, and the best wins and the best ideas, and therefore the best income, etc. Okay, moving on to pile two. Let's see what we are able to put those away for pile one. Okay. Two of one. More twos. Interesting. It's like, okay, there's like work. There's a decision that you are in the middle of making, but there is not clarity within you about what it is you really want. At the other end of this, 444. Like on the other side of, almost like you have these two decisions or these two choices, or maybe it's more than two like choices, right? But it's like you really, really want to know where they lead further down the path rather than choosing it based on your current situation, which like makes logical sense, except there's some kind of clarity that you need to find within yourself about what your values are currently, what your like overall values are as a person. And maybe that's work that you need to do separate from this decision moment, to find a truer self of yourself within you so that you can understand like which of these choices actually aligns best with who it is that you are and want to become, rather than deciding based on the choices that are in front of you. And so for the imagery, just because that's sometimes helpful for people, we have the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords, which is in reverse, and then the Queen of Swords. And what is at the bottom of the deck, please? The Wheel of Fortune, which this was on the bottom of the deck when I like put this deck down, and then I shuffled it, so like it's very prominently coming up, except for I have lifted it this time in reverse, where I think that I was almost going to say like this doesn't have as much to do with intuition as it does with logical thought because of the Queen of Swords being there. But I think that that's like a mistaken understanding of like, don't think of your intuition as luck or as like your intuition has logic beyond mind logic that we as humans understand, if that makes sense, because it's downloading and understanding the logic of nature and of like the path ahead and of everything that you've ever been through in past lives as much as in this life. It is also most likely the place where there is a lot more fluid communication with your spirit team, with ancestors, etc., because that will most likely, not for everybody, but come through as a feeling. And so there is like deep self-understanding and clarity to be given the spotlight here, rather than to kind of think about it in terms of just the decision that's in front of you. But this is like signifying that you're maybe not taking as seriously what it is that your heart wants, but like your intuition. I had to say it out loud because it's coming through. But maybe it's even a thing of that, where it's like you've followed your heart before, and then it feels almost like perhaps that you should have grown out of doing something like that, because it's like a phrase that we only hear in like Disney movies and it's not really used in the adult world. But maybe there fucking needs to be more of that in the adult world, because like, are most adults really happy with following just logic? I don't know, ask a Capricorn. That's really not my wheelhouse. But like, believe again and remember all the times that the universe has caught you. And really, I think that there's a deeper understanding of yourself than you've ever had before. There's just more going on up here than there has been previously, because it matters more to you now in this moment. Maybe let's get another from this deck. I mean, we might as well stick with the same deck for like a guidance card for this pile. Oh, thank you very much. The Three of Cups. Yeah, I remember. Oh, another one popped out as I was doing that. Okay. It's like to remember your wins, remember that there is more than just you on your side, and that you in fact are on your own side, and that there is, Jesus, this just will not focus at all on something that's not me. Yeah, like these three people celebrating each other and the love that they have for each other, each individually have, for lack of a better phrase of it, their own main character energy. But that does not mean that the rest of the world does not matter or falls away. It means that each of them understand individually how important they each are to this balance, this like world that we're all a part of. And I don't know, that they're not alone, that there's guidance, that there is like a lot of, stay there, reminding you of the full moon up here, like how far your intuition really has brought you. And there's also this, what's standing out to me is these three cats, which really, I mean, a lot of them, this deck kind of symbolize wisdom and higher self and intuition, but they're playing with little butterflies. And so maybe there's just a reminder to not maybe take parts of this as seriously as you are. Because if you need a reminder, there's no wrong. You're not going to get it wrong. You're just going to go on a different path. And different is not wrong. It's just different to, like, I don't know, where you were, or maybe what you thought you were going to do or whatever. But like, if you have an ideal, there's another part to this where it's like, there's almost too much discernment. The Queen of Swords has been shuffled back in, funnily enough. But it's like, you have almost too much of I don't love saying this because it's like, you should have an idea about what your life is going to look like if you want to, if you've worked on that and everything. But being too rigid about how it becomes can sometimes like disallow it from being our present celebration as much as the thing that we're walking towards. And then the Eight of Cups was the other one that popped out. Which is either a reminder of everything that you have left behind, the things that don't align with you anymore, that you don't give space to. Another reminder that you have done the work here and that you are allowed to celebrate the fact that you're even having a dilemma, as it were, of these choices that are being presented to you. Because if you look back at past you, this is probably not the kind of options that you had available to you. And these are opportunities that you have worked towards, even having the option of choosing between. And that's beautiful. And it feels like this smoke is really standing out in this one cup, where it's like, these signify like all of the past versions of yourself that have like been left behind as you have continued into who you are becoming. And perhaps it's also something, because yes, it could be the things you have walked away from, but that one cup by itself is burning, and we have a full moon just around the corner tomorrow. There's something left to release. You'll know what it is. Be it a word, a mindset, like a practice, being hard on yourself, a food, and not doing something. Like, it's not always about releasing something that is present and it needs to go, but sometimes it's about releasing the space of there not being something that needs to be in your life, if that makes sense. And so perhaps specifically a ritual where you write whatever that is down on a piece of paper and burn it on the full moon here, in a release cycle, and then dance that shit out, wiggle, whatever, but like physically release. And the clarity will come, because you're not trying to decide it like in a you're going to get it wrong worry moment that has like almost has to do with logic. I think you got to know that you like have the logic part down. You have the logic part down. You know what you need. You know what's going forward. You take yourself seriously, like more seriously than you did before. And that's badass, because I don't think that you had been before because of the way that this is coming out. You see yourself as who it is that you're becoming more than you ever have before, but that also rises the stakes as far as making decisions now in the future. And I think that you need to bring back in that bit of like play and trust in yourself and your intuition. Because sure, you may have led yourself, because through lessons that you needed to learn to become who it is that you are today, to places that were not fun to be a part of, to put it in, you know, a juvenile way. But you've also been the person that got you to here, where you're now becoming who it is that would make your own dreams come true. So don't forget that as well. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Love you. And if you want a personal reading, those are available on my Kofi.